with 13 tackles and an interception, Devondre's stats look pretty good. So what'd you think of him? You know, the bigger picture that you'd have.
He did a nice job. You know, the communication part of stuff with the defense, getting in and out. His angles to the ball were pretty good. He did some nice things in the past. You know, he actually made a correction from a previous play, like maybe 2 plays prior to that, and they ran a similar concept, and he made a correction. And you know, Garvin did a nice job getting some pressure on him, and he got an interception out of it. So he did overall. He did a nice job, and he's been doing a nice job for us.
Could he have played that the touchdown to Hawkinson any better? I mean, it seemed like for a linebacker on a tight end like that, he had pretty good coverage.
Just run faster. No, I mean there's some things that we can do that we could do a little bit better there, just leverage wise and some of those kinds of things. But you know the nice thing is you're never really talking about anything that Devondre doesn't already know himself. So you know that's good. He has a lot of experience playing, and you know he'll, as you guys always hear me say, he'll find new stuff to screw up. So
you go from Hawkinson now to Kittle for that tight end matchup with the 49ers. What's the key to trying to contain a guy like Kittle?
I mean, he's just a really good player, and he's a complete football player. You know, he's asked to do a lot. You know, Kyle asks him to do a lot, and he takes pride in doing it all very well. You know, John Embry, his coach, does a really good job with him, and I think those guys are you know, when they ask their players to do things, they do it with urgency and toughness, and that's what he plays with. He's just really a good football player.
Why is the running game so good? Regardless of what running back it had back there over the years, it seems to work pretty well every week.
Yeah, I mean they obviously they have a really good scheme. They're very well coached. They understand how people are going to try to stop them, and they have plays off of it. I think they do a really good job at having their players understand what's happening to them also. You know, I think you know, they have a legendary running back coach, Bobby Turner, who was my offensive coordinator in college. So, but he does a really nice job with those guys, and they all play the same way, and they understand what's going on, and you know the offensive line understands what's going on, and they're just really a good football team. They're very sound, and they're simple to a point, but they're complex in other ways also.
They're running more motion than anybody in the league by a lot. But is it just the same? Is that the same as they've always done?
Yeah, you know that's part of what they do. They shift, they motion, they kind of move around pre-snap, and you know they're messing with your eyes, and they're messing with your alignments, and they're trying to create angles on guys, and you know that's part of you know, like I said, it's simple in a lot of ways, but it's very complex in a lot of ways too. You have to have players that can execute some of the stuff that they're asking to do, which they do. Their players do a nice job with it.
Does that impact your position group as much as anybody?
Yeah, I think, you know, in general, people try to pick on linebackers in general. So, you know, yeah, we're like the kid on the schoolyard gets picked on all the time.
Did you feel like Devondre, in the chances that you sent him on what's his inside, how did you feel he fared, and is that something he's done before a lot?
Yeah, you know, he's done that. He has a background in you know, a D-line background when he was in college. He's done that. Obviously, he has a frame that can be a mismatch for certain running backs. You know, those types of things, and you know, he has a decent feel for it. And you know, sometimes guys, when they're in amongst the trees, it's a different feeling. But he does a nice job in there doing those kinds of things.
Hey, Kirk, you obviously spent all that time in Washington. There were a bunch of different head coaches during your time there, right? Mm-hmm. Spurrier was in there, Schottenheimer. I'm just wondering, because Matt made a comment after the game about, you know, saying that Coach Berry, hey, you know, let's either cover or pressure. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, like, in your experience, what were the kind of different ways that head coaches, especially ones with offensive backgrounds, kind of chimed in with what you guys were doing on that side?
I think it was really different just depending on the personality of people and how much they wanted to be involved in some cases. I mean, Joe Gibbs used to just walk down the hall, and he would say this in the off season too. He would walk down the hall and he would just say, "Hey guys, stop them," and that was it. But I think it was really different just depending on the personalities.
So how's kind of Matt with you guys?
I mean, Matt's a football guy. He enjoys talking about football. If you're sitting and, you go out to dinner with him, you're going to be talking about football. So, I think he approaches things from that perspective is, hey, let's talk football. And he, the thing that Matt is really good with is he has his ideas and he's open to learning ideas too. And when you're in a conversation like that where everybody's open to talk and listen, it's not like you're sitting there getting talked at or just having to listen to. I think that's a constructive way to go about things.